Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We're glad that you joined us for our lunchtime keynote today. We tried kind of a middle of the day break. So we had some sessions this morning. We'll have Denise speak to us for a little bit, and then we'll head back to our afternoon sessions. I'm really excited. If you've been in the room before we hit the record button, you got a sense of Denise and her personality. I'm really excited to bring her here to talk with everybody. Denise and I have known each other for a very long time. I just told her yesterday, I tried to dig up a picture of the two of us from our younger days when I started working in the field of AT, and I couldn't find one. And I feel that's a missed opportunity to surprise Denise and just put that up on the screen, but I couldn't find it. So I'll keep searching in my basement. As we go through, Denise is going to be sharing her story about assistive technology and how it's helped her with her independence. We talked yesterday in kind of our pre-planning session, and we were trying to decide how to approach questions. And Denise came up with a really great idea, which I think we will use, is that put your questions in the chat, and then Denise and Naomi and myself will follow up with each other afterwards, and we will do kind of an interview to go a little further. I know we don't have a ton of time today in this time, so that felt like a nice extension. Denise wanted to make sure she had an opportunity to answer all your questions, but we weren't sure about the time crunch. So this feels like a good way. So drop them in the chat. I will collect them and then follow up with Denise, and we will post that back into the meeting schedule as well as up to our YouTube channel. And I think that's it. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Denise. I promised her I wouldn't talk for a long time. I told her I'd give her all of her time and not use it up. So Denise, thank you. I'm very glad that you're here today, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Hi, everybody. My name is Denise Ghizzone. First, I would like to tell you what I am using to Zoom you. This room where I am in is my office. Is where I am in 99% of the time. I have my computer, my communication device, camera in front of me on the side. My computer works by Bluetooth with my communication device. It's pretty cool the way how it works. Once I'm set up right and everything is working together, I am good and drive to my desk. I'm ready to work or play games on internet. I design the mouse keys wherever I want to go on screen. I like to tweak this sometime, ha ha ha. I am a real master at this. I even surprise myself sometime on what I can do on my computer. By the way, somebody has to turn on my computer and communication device for me. I'm all set. I am Zooming with everybody now. For the pandemic, I had to Zoom for my job. I got good at it. I figured it out for myself. I'm glad did because I wouldn't have been in this group with everybody now. At this time, I would like tell you my things what I can do by myself with assistive technology. I am a teacher at the Schroth School in Monmouth County. It runs by Ladacin network. I am using an eyes gaze system. My communication device pick up my eyes on the black part on the bottom of my communication device. It shows me where I'm looking on the screen. The round circle, it is all about that. The circle makes it works, wherever I am looking. I have a lot of pictures and the pictures represent words and or sentences. I have to remember the right order where they are. I am glad I have a great memory. The last 5 years I had this. I used to scan with a switch with my knee for years. I was the fastest at scanning. I scanned for 20 years, but unfortunately I had a neck operation which affected my movements a long time ago in my younger years. I went to Brookdale and I got my English degree. I took all the creative writing courses because I loved to write when I was younger. I told everybody I'm going to be an author one day. Actually, only my parents believed me. I wrote some amazing stories over the years. I am not good at my grammar, but that didn't stop me. I kept my favorite stories in my filing cabinet throughout the years about my childhood and my adulthood. Throughout the years, I kept revising my short stories. I had so many communication devices to make me faster at writing. About 6 years ago, I found an editor and he helped me to write my first book. Determination, what I'm all about. I dedicated my first book to my mom and I still miss her so much. So I put it on Amazon and it sold great. Everybody bought it and loved it. I told people at Brookdale and they put it in the Brookdale Library. I am so proud of it. A lot of people asked me, when am I writing another one? I thought my dream came through with writing one book. My editor told me I should write another one. This wasn't planned, but I had a message to tell everybody. I go out to the schools and tell students about how people with disabilities should be treated. I took that message in some of speeches. Also of my experiences with people, how they treated me, not a real person sometime. I can do a lot for people in my own special way. I put some of my creative writings that I wrote at Brookdale in my book. Anyhow, I thought of the title right away based on what the things are in my book. Knowledge, Acceptance, Compassion by Denise Ghizzone. That is the perfect title. This will teach and make people aware about people with disabilities, of what they can do. I know some people who are teachers or in schools and colleges used my books for their classes. They all told me my book helped their students to understand people with disabilities. Without assistive technologies, I couldn't have written 2 books, have a job, and be successful. I help some children and adults with their goals too. Base what I can do for myself. I tell them if I can do it, then you can do it too. There is no limitation with me. It might take me longer, but I can do it all by myself. I know a lot of people beside Mike, and I have participated in many of projects throughout the years. People asked what I would like to do for myself. I put turning the lights and TV on. I thought little things were impossible for me to do, but no, with Alexa, I can do the simple of things with Alexa every day. I turn on my lights and change the channels by myself with using Alexa. I can call with using Alexa. Wow. This little device opened up many things I can do for myself. I shared with occupational therapists around Ladacin. Some of my peers want to do all of those things as well as me. Now they can also do with what the things I can do. I passed it along to them. They are grateful for that. The next thing is really cool that I can do by myself. My power chair can go up and down. Basically, I am living in assistive technology times. I am lucky to have so many great things in my life now. I hope you enjoyed my speech. If you have any questions, you can email Mike. Thank you.
Denise, that's awesome. I didn't know you were going to do that. So that's great. And I'm so glad you didn't tell me that yesterday. And we do have a couple minutes if people want to put something in the chat. We can take a second to have Denise type up some answers for us, if that's all right. Denise, you good with that? Yeah. Okay. Cool. I always laugh when Denise tells her story about these older versions of her assistive technology, because I feel like for some of those first couple ones, I was involved in those scanning situations and setting up all of those other assistive technology access points that Denise had, which is really cool. If you didn't hear before we started recording, Denise and I were talking, and I'm happy to announce that Denise has agreed to be part of our ATAC advisory board. And so we're really excited to have her as part of our group and have her voice in our conversations. I think that'll be a very good thing. Oh, Denise, Tracy's in the chat. Tracy, we were just talking about you before we started, whether you would pop back in. So Tracy worked with Denise as well. That's exciting. It's so interesting, this idea, Denise, of technology and where it is now compared to some of those first examples of your assistive tech, right? With your access methods and trying to control the environment. And now, like you said, it's an Alexa, and it's that little, I hate to yell that out. I'm sure someone's just, sorry. You know, it's just that little device. And using it with your AAC device is so awesome. That's great. Anybody has anything? Denise, you're getting comments in the chat. Here, I'll give you some of them. Lori says, Denise, so glad you are a teacher. What a great opportunity to be that role model who has made all the difference in the world. That was from Lori. And Laura says, very inspirational, Denise. Thank you so much for sharing your AT journey with us. Always nice. Kathy says, awesome that you were able to hook up with all the right people. I'd like to think Kathy's talking specifically about me, but I'm very me-centered, so that's me. Barbara says, we need to keep Denise. She is awesome and she knows what she is doing. Well, Barbara, we are keeping Denise. We are locking her into our advisory council. So that's awesome. Yeah, so good to hear from everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Danielle talks about we are working on getting smart home technology set up for our K-12 school to help our students. Thanks, Denise, for sharing your user perspective. I want my students to feel this independence too. That's great. And so our plan is a follow-up that Denise has agreed to, which I'm thrilled that she has agreed to this, is we are going to follow up with her, Naomi and I, and do a like kind of a follow-up interview. And so if you have other questions about Denise's technology, maybe Denise will invite us over to see her technology in action, and maybe we can take a little picture of it and some video. Nothing like putting you on the spot in front of everybody, right? Now it's in the recording and I have it all. So now, yeah, we can see Denise in action in her home environment. Denise, it struck a chord when you said you're in that room 99% of the time. So am I. I hear you. I'm in this room all the time too. Yeah. Great. Yeah, and Julie said she'd love to see your setup and how it all works. You know, it's interesting. We had a conversation yesterday, the three of us with Naomi, and Denise said to us, would you rather see me or would you rather see my device? And right away it was let's see you. And we'll always find a way to get a picture of the device. So that can be something we follow up with Denise. I'll wait till you're finished and then I'll read you another question.
I am on YouTube with my communication device.
All right. I will find that link when we're done, Denise. And I'll make sure, you know what I'll do? I'll link it back into the schedule for everybody underneath Denise's name. All right. Thanks for making more work for me. I appreciate it. No. A couple questions. Maybe we can go through a couple of these, Denise. We have one. The question is, how do you decide what new tools to try and how do you find out about them?
by luck, really. Ladacin found things and I try them out.
Awesome. So just as background to that, Ladacin is the organization that Denise works for, the organization that I used to work for at one point. And so they're a group there. There's a team there, a transdisciplinary team of all related service providers who work with individuals to help them figure out what's out there and what might work. And Denise is lucky enough to work there now, so she still gets access to that whole group and can pick their brains when she needs to. And whenever Denise and I run into each other, we have a conversation about some new gadget that she thinks that would help, and then we try to figure out what it might be and how to get it to work. So that's always fun. I have one other. I'll give you a compliment first out of the chat. I think that's a nice way to do it. I'm going to give you a compliment, but I'm going to ask you one more question. So Tracy gave you a compliment since we gave her the shout out. She said that you were possibly one for the world record books. Denise was the fastest scanner I've ever seen. So there you go. There's your compliment. Nothing wrong with that. And the question that's in the box is, what has been the key to your success with using AT?
My drive within to make my life better.
Nice. Denise, you know how to wrap up a segment, that's for sure, right? That was a perfect little end to our question and answer. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's great. And as I pointed out before, just as a reminder, if you have other questions, you can continue to throw them in the chat. You can also email them to us. We will put the link back in the schedule where you can email them to. And then we will set up a time to connect with Denise, maybe visit her, ask some questions. Maybe we can do a fancy 2-camera shoot, Denise, and we can shoot your device as we're shooting film of you. We'll figure something out. That gives me a chance to flex my video director muscles. So I'm excited about that. And Denise, I want to thank you. I want to take the time to say thank you for sure. I think it's really valuable to hear from individuals using technology and the power of them as we go forward, and kind of the evolution of technology, and how it becomes easy and so ingrained into our lives. So for that, thank you, Denise. This was awesome. I knew it would be, and I'm so happy because it's great. Thank you.
Goodbye, Tracy. I miss you. Mike, it was nice working without you always.
It's nice being around you, Denise. I'm happy that we're going to work together on the advisory board. I'm excited about that. So thank you. Everyone who joined us, thank you so much for taking your lunch hour to be part of our conversation here with Denise. It's awesome. Go get another stretch break, get away from your computer for a couple minutes, and then we'll start the afternoon sessions back up at 1:15. So we'll see you then. Denise, thank you again. Awesome. Denise, I started to panic. I'll tell you my panic right now before I hang up. My computer started to crash in the middle of you talking, just like it did before. And I'm like, oh no, is it going to crash before we're done? And then I was looking for my phone to make sure Naomi was in here to tell her that I'm about to crash out one more time. So I think I have to restart my computer in order to get out of here. But Denise, I'll follow up with you in email and we'll set a time up for the three of us to get together. All right, awesome. Denise, thank you. This was so great. Thank you. Oh, look, Tracy popped on. You can chat with her. Bonus.
Hey, Denise. How are you? It's so great to see you and to hear from you.